Hey guys, welcome back to Handmade Highland. So yesterday I got a delivery of the Caydo button or badge maker. It's an automatic badge maker and I was so excited when it arrived that I couldn't actually take the time to show you the unboxing. I just wanted to play with it. To be fair, I actually thought it was a scam. So I was floating about on Facebook one day, up pops an advert. I thought this is too good to be true. Went through to the website, it said pre-order, so again, how long's a piece of string till it arrives? But I bought it because I was curious, and obviously I did it on something that if there was a problem, I was able to get my money back. So don't ever purchase anything without having some kind of protection. But anyway, it turned up yesterday, it isn't a scam, I was so excited, and this is the Caydo Automatic badge maker. So we're going to play with it today, show you about a little bit and see what it can do and what it can't. Okay, so what do we get in the box? Well, obviously we get the automatic badge or button maker. This is the Caydo Automatic badge or button maker. So as you can see, it's quite sturdy, quite heavy, some instructions on the top. And then in the box we get the instruction manual, some 58mm fronts and backs. We get the 32mm backs and fronts. We get the little, I'm not sure what size these are, 25mm, so about an inch, backs and fronts. We then get all of the magnetic moulds, some paper rounds and mylar for each size with gaskets, a cutter, and under here is a little cutting mat. So I'm just printing off some graphics to try it out properly and we will give it a go. Okay, so this is the Caydo Automatic button maker or badge maker, and I've been playing with it since it arrived yesterday when I got a little excited over the news that it had arrived. So I'm going to make a few bits and bobs with it, let you see it working, and we can have a look around the machine. So I cut out some graphics to be able to be used on the badges, and I'm just going to press a couple for you now, all 58mm, because that's what I cut out and that's what I use mostly. So we'll start with the badge. So in the bag or in the box, that's the first thing that you find is a small box full of 58mm badge bases. So it's really simple to use. You pop the 58mm badge top in number 1. You put the back of the badge in number 2, facing towards the front if you've got it in this orientation. Just making sure that obviously if you put it in squint, it's going to print squint. There we go. Then you want to choose one of your pictures. So I'm going to go with In My Next Life, I want to be the Karma Fairy. And I'm going to pop that on the top. So the next thing you do after that is pop some mylar over the top. The mylar is just a little bit of plastic film and that protects the graphic. But I already use a photo paper, so technically I could skip the mylar if I wanted, or I could cover it with a laminate. It's entirely up to yourself. So this is really clever. So we'll turn on the Caydo press and we have settings along the front. So the settings are very basic. So the first one that you find here is your pressure. So it goes from pressure 1 to pressure 3. I actually haven't found a reason yet when playing with it to turn the pressure down. If I find one, I will let you guys know. Next along is the stop and start button. The stop and start button is if you want to start and stop the press manually, and then there is an automatic, and the automatic button just means that when it engages into the press it will open and close of its own accord. So I'm going to choose the automatic and then I'm going to turn number 1 into the badge maker. Oh. obviously didn't select it. So we'll turn it into the badge maker and it should start automatically. And what that does is it presses the front, the mylar and the image all together, and it becomes one, so to speak. Right, then we turn it round and this should put the back onto the badge. It is a little noisy, but honestly the finish on them are that fantastic that I actually don't mind the noise. So that's number one. So we have a badge here. In my next life I want to be the Karma Fairy. We'll pop that on here. And that is now ready to be used. Now I also make other things with my badge maker, so I tested out a few bits and bobs. I didn't want to bore you for ages while I sat and played with it all day long. So while I was doing some bits and bobs, I tried out some of my rosettes. And this one just says, I'm not just special, I'm limited edition. And these are great if you're doing birthdays, but also awards and things at schools. I did some more badges, so I've got one with a little skeleton that says a skeleton dog with book, and a little Highland cow badge as well. But I also made some magnets, and these are all magnets. I made magnets in two different versions if I can find the one that's... So this one you need to put a back on, and this one came with the back. So actually it is really busy, as you can see from the count. I've done 24 things in total while playing with it, and just making sure that everything was as it should be. I cut these out using my Silhouette Cameo, but you can cut them out by hand, and it does come with a cutter in the box. But to be fair, I wasn't very impressed with it. It didn't seem to want to stick. Now I don't know if I was missing something, like maybe there was a bit that had to be taken off, but when I pressed it down there was nothing to hold it on the image, which meant it just didn't spin the way I wanted it to. That's just me, but it is there in the box. You also got a little cutting mat, and that little cutting mat is a fantastic size if you're doing these by hand. You could just use a scalpel or an X-Acto knife or anything like that, but in all honesty it is an absolute game changer when it comes to fatigue. If you've ever had to make loads of badges, regardless of what type of badge it is, and you're pulling on the handle, your arm gets sore, your hand gets sore, and sometimes that can put people off. But this is great because it does just start when you close the mould underneath the press. So how easy is it to change the moulds? Well, that is also incredibly easy. So these are magnetic, so they just pop off. So if you were doing a different size, this one pops down from the front, because I'm trying not to get in its way. Hold on. This one pops down from the front and just comes out as well. So they're also colour coded. So for instance, this one here is the 38mm. And again, on the side it says base 1, so that's number 1, and there's a little notch here, and you just slide that in and it clips in. This one here says base 2, and the little notch again, which as long as it's lined up here, then clips in as well. And then this piece here goes up the way, and it does say up on it, and once that's in, that is you ready to press a smaller badge in this press. And as you can see, that's it all ready to go. So my opinion on the Caydo button badge, whatever you want to call it, press, it is a fantastic little automatic press. I am so glad I bought it. I'm also really glad it wasn't a scam, but I can't find anything at the moment that makes me feel like I put the wrong one on, that makes me feel that I am regretting paying for this. So I paid £170. There was discount vouchers, so it wasn't actually bad for a badge maker either. I have paid a lot more for a lot less in the past when it comes to badge makers. So if you're sitting on the fence and you're thinking, I really want one of these, I saw them on Facebook, they are real, they will turn up, that's a bonus, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to play with it a little bit more, and if you like what you've seen here, drop me a like, hit the follow button, and please ring that bell if you want to be notified of any of the future videos that I do. Until next time, love ya, bye.